Hello, I'm Pamela Davis. Welcome to episode 180 of the Well Done Life podcast. Hello, and welcome back to episode 180 of the Well Done Life podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Davis. If you are new here, hey, how are you? Welcome. If you've been here before, you guys know the deal. I love you deep. Thank you so much for continuing to support me. I couldn't do this without you, and I'm really grateful that you're a part of my journey. Before we get started with this week's episode, I want to be really foundational. It is very important to me that this safe space, this house that we are creating is built on two very important foundations, and that is clarity and love. Clarity is really straightforward. I just like to make sure that you understand that I created the Well Done Life brand because I believe that women are the foundation of society. I really believe that we need places and spaces where we can be our most authentic self, where we can laugh and we can cry and we can be inspired together. So I hope while you are here and as I am sharing my story and spotlighting the spaces and places that other women have created, that you will be inspired, that you will share your story, that you will find someone else that you can impart into, and we can all grow and build together. So welcome. And then that leads me into my second thing, which is my favorite thing. I'm a sucker for love. I love love. And so love, of course, is always going to be the main foundational tenet of everything that we do here. And so in that vein, I like to make sure that I send prayers. It is really important to me that I pray, because I truly believe that when two or more people come together in prayer, our prayers are magnified. And I know I can't be the only person out here sending prayers, so I like to send prayers to you every week. And so this week, I definitely want to send you prayers of peace. You know, it is busy in these streets. I'm telling you, I cannot believe February is almost over, and this is my favorite month. It's my birthday month, and we're going to talk about that. But I definitely want to send you prayers of peace because the year is moving quick. Like Q3, we're going to be up and blinked, and it's going to be over before we know it. So I definitely want to send you opportunities to take a moment for you, take a moment to stop, take a moment to sit in stillness, take a moment to check in with yourself. My therapist asked me that today. She was like, have you checked in with yourself? What is your process for checking in with yourself on a daily basis? And I literally did not have a really good answer right now for her because I am in a season of expansion and busyness. But we're going to talk about that too. We'll talk about that. But so I'm going to ask you the same question that God asked of me. You know, what are you doing every day to check in with you? And I hope that you are doing something small. I have to admit, I do have one little moment of self-care that I do daily. I do love to ride my Peloton. Y'all know I'm like a really big Peloton person. And so I do ride my Peloton every morning. I get up early, and before I start my day, that is the first thing I do. And I love it, and it gives me peace. But it could be even something as simple as going out for a walk, standing outside in front of your house, grabbing a cup of tea. I don't care what it is. Just make sure that you are giving yourself a moment of peace. And hopefully that one moment will create multiple moments for you. So sending peace, because peace allows us to be able to regulate ourselves, or regulate our mind, our body, our soul. Give yourself that grace, because there is greatness coming toward you, and you have to be in a position where you can receive it, where you can actually be able to be imparted into. And that peace, that regulation is essential for you to be able to do that. So I wanted to definitely make sure I am sending you prayers of peace. And along that line, I want to make sure this week that I am sending you prayers of boundaries. You know, I've talked about it before. I mentioned it last week. I am not playing about boundaries. Like, boundaries are really essential. Especially in times when we are doing busy, great, amazing things with our projects and all of our goals. I mean, we are out here standing on business. And so we have to stand on business for ourselves. And so I just want to make sure that I am reminding you of the power of boundaries. Boundaries bring peace. And when you are, like I said, searching for peace and trying to have prayers of peace, you need to make sure your boundaries are strong. So I am also sending you prayers that you are checking your boundaries, that you are standing on your boundaries, that you are recognizing the worth in you to have boundaries, and you are never going back, because a boundaryless life is not a good life. I'm telling you, have some boundaries. It's going to be okay. People will get used to you. And if they don't, you know what? That's not your problem. is not your problem. So I definitely want to, like I said, send you prayers of peace, send you prayers of boundaries. I'm also sending you prayers of love. I mean, this is the month of love. This is the month of Black history. There's just so many wonderful things that February produced outside of me and some other amazing, wonderful people as well. If February babies, stand up, Aquarius, Pisces, woo woo. Of course, I had to bring that in there. Sorry, Lord, you understand. I digress. But anywho, I definitely want to make sure that you are surrounded in love. I want to make sure that you are feeling love from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And I want you to have good, healthy love. Good, healthy love is love where you can stand in the fullness of your thoughts. Good, healthy love is where communication is not a bad thing. Good, healthy love brings you peace. And I want you to have that. And I don't care if we're just talking about a relational level, if we're talking about friendship, you need to be able to have the love that brings you peace, that does not make you work for it, that doesn't make you chase it. It is something that is just well inside of you. So I want you to have that, because as you are out here conquering all your goals and doing everything, it means nothing without love. It does. It means nothing. You need people. You need people to support you and to believe in you and to motivate you to be your best self. So I hope that you are surrounded in love in all that you do this month and beyond. So those are my key prayers for you. You know, y'all, I've already kind of talked to you guys about abundance. Always going to claim that and throw that in there for you. I do want you to be financially blessed so you can be a blessing to other people, but I also want you abundant in your spirit. So to me, that's where the other prayers come in line, because when you have those things, that is where you are abundant, because you are open to really value the small moments, the little things that mean the most in the world. Because no matter how much money you have, you can only buy so much stuff, and stuff only makes you happy for an instant. But having abundance in your soul and in your spirit can feed you and make you wealthy for a lifetime. So those are my prayers for you this week. I am recording on Wednesday, February the 21st, and it is approximately 10:51 p.m. It's been a later day for me and a busier week, and I'm okay with that, because I needed to make sure that I set this one up because it is a special time in my life. I'm about to have my 51st rotation around the sun. By the time you are listening to this, I will be 51. It'll be officially my birthday, and the podcast has turned 4 years old. So this is special time. So I wanted to sit down and just really record about this season because it's been pressing on me. And so I wanted to talk about it. And so before we kind of dive in, I also want to make sure that I thank everyone for their support of episode 179. This is me. With my wonderful, lovely guest that I had last week. We're from Create and Blossom Studios, and her name is Kenesha Griffin. And I apologize, Kenesha, if you're listening. Don't think I forgot you, girl. I didn't. It's just the mind, girl. I'm just running from one thing to the next, the mind. But Kenesha is the creator and owner and a story puller of Create and Blossom Studios, her literary studios. And we talked about her journey and how she was able to share her story of going through multiple miscarriages and just try to help and inspire other women who may be on the journey, and how she pulls out other stories within other people, and how sometimes we need to be pulled on to have our stories talked about. Because if we think about it, we each have a journey that could really inspire someone. And so I wanted to make sure I shared her. If there is something in your spirit that you've been thinking about sharing your journey, you might need to check out Kenesha, and you might need to think about, how maybe you might be pulled on, and how she works with others to help them pull out their journey. And I have to admit, when I get to that point and I'm ready, I will definitely connect with her as well. But I will make sure I link the episode in the show notes, of our conversation. But like I said, this week, it is a special time. It is my time. Yes, it is my time. It is the podcast time. And I am so excited about being here to talk to you guys about this 51st rotation. And I've kind of talked to you guys a little bit before about how I felt like I never knew that I would get to this point. I never believed it when I was younger and life has started to life. I went through many seasons where, I just didn't feel like I wanted to keep going. I felt like I wanted to give up. I felt like like I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself. And to be here in this space now where mentally I feel so amazing. And I'm just so optimistic about what the future will bring, and knowing that I am equipped to be able to handle life as it comes to me. I feel blessed and I'm very grateful. And especially even on top of that, I have the podcast because yes, the Well Done Life is officially 4 years old on this day as well. And I'm just so honored by how many of you that I have been able to touch, how many of you have been able to connect with through text or through emails and through conversations. It has just truly been a blessing to be in this space, to have this community, to have your intention, your love and support. And I look forward to continuing to grow and develop it. I mean, by the time that you guys are listening to this as well, tickets for the VSET are going online, and I'll have information about it in the show notes, but that's an extension of my heart. That literally is an extension of my heart. I really want to make sure that I say this clear as I enter into my 51st year with my 4th year on my podcast. Everything that I am doing with my heart. And let me say that again, as I get ready to do this 51st year and this 4th year with this podcast, everything I am doing with my heart. I told you guys last year as I was preparing for my Golden Renaissance and my arms up for the 50th year, I was not playing about me. I told you guys that actually at the end of my 49th year going into the 50th year, I am not playing about me. This next 10 years of my life is super intentional. And I say that it is super intentional because I have gone through a season in my life where I sat on the shelf, I sat in mediocrity, I did all the things necessary or what I felt was necessary to survive because I was in a situation where I felt like I needed to prioritize the needs of others over myself. And that was my family. I put myself in a position where I didn't pursue my dreams. I just kind of kept going through the muck and mire every day because, I felt like I couldn't be distracted. I couldn't take away from what was going on in my home in order to pursue me. I lost me in the shuffle. And I spent many a season in the shuffle, losing myself. I spent a good, well over 10 years, almost 14 years in my life without being able to really pour back into me. And I did it in little ways as I existed. I'm not going to say that it was 100% not pouring. I did many great trips. I did many good things, but I also went through rock bottom situations. Like I told y'all, I filed bankruptcy. I lost it all. I hit rock. I lost my mind and I lost all my money. I did all of those things back in the day. And so going into this next season of my life, going into 50, I was like, you know what? Those days are done. That time is over. And now is a time of intention. Now I made the decision to start betting on me. Yes, I decided that, you know what? I don't have to sit in a job for 14 years where I am not going to move further, where I am not going to be paid my worth in order for me to be able to have what I need to take care of my family. I'm solely taking care of them and killing myself off in the process. And that was not going to work for me. I didn't need to be in a season where I could no longer be open to love. I was ready to love. I had done the work. I had sat down and dealt with my shadows and demons. I was ready in my mind to go forward and be open again. And so now I'm open again. And I decided that, you know what, I need to change my relationship with money. I did my time. I paid my bankruptcy. I handled everything I needed to handle that. It is now time for me to go out here and go harder for the dream. And that is why the reset is on deck, because I've decided to go harder for the dream. So I say all of these things to say to you as I am in this season right now, about to enter into this 51st rotation of my life, I'm grateful and I'm free. I'm grateful and I'm free. And grateful and freedom are not my two words, are not even words of mine for 2024. I really did not. I told y'all before, my words are unshakable. And every time I say it, I hear unshakable faith. Audacious, because I'm going to be audacious with every request that I have. And I am in a season of expansion. So going into this 51st year, I can totally see it. Like I am totally expanding, shifting, and growing in every area of my life right now. And it is beautiful. It is overwhelming. And it is freeing. But at the same time, while I'm going through all these seasons, I am grateful. And God has truly been good to me in the midst of this season because He has made ways for me to be able to provide, to be able to take care and pursue my dreams, to be able to live, to be able to thrive, to be able to be peace, to be nurtured and loved. Like there's just so many wonderful blessings coming to pass. And I am so grateful to God for the gifts that He has given me this time of my life. And so going into 51, it's just like, wow, I can't believe that I'm here. I can't. And I can't believe that it's all coming to pass and it's all changing and expanding at the exact same time, which shouldn't really be a surprise because that's just how God works. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for it all. I'm grateful for all the chaos, all the stress, all the thoughts, because there's so many thoughts. And I'm also very grateful for the therapist. Yes, because that therapist is key on my journey as I am now entering into this 51st rotation. And so I wanted to kind of tell you all where my mindset was at as I'm shifting and what I'm doing, because I want you to understand that you don't have to wait until your 51st rotation in order to make these changes. And if you are at your 51st rotation and you still need to make these changes, I hope that this then serves as the catalyst, as the reminder, as the intention that you were seeking to go forth and go and do it. Because if not now, when? And I say that to you guys all the time. That's something that I have to say to myself all the time. If not now, when? What am I waiting for? There's never going to be a perfect moment. There's never going to be a perfect time. The time is now. If God placed it in my spirit and the belief in me that it is going to come to pass, who am I to question His belief in me? If you believe it in me, I believe it in me too. And I had to learn to have that unshakable faith. So I am challenging you to have that unshakable faith. And yeah, it can feel really crazy out here sometimes. I'm totally skating across the sun, as I've told y'all numerous times, but I've also learned to recognize that that's where I thrive. And I've told you that before. I'm thriving as I'm skating across the sun. Yes, I might get burned, but there is enough salve. I'll be fine. I'm resilient. I can get back out here and press. So I'm saying again, all of this to say it's time. This is the time that you needed. This is the reminder that you were needed. This is the kick in the butt that you needed to go out here and get it done. I cannot say it any other fluffy way. I could give you 5 to 10 reasons why you should do it. There's not 5 or 10 reasons needed. It literally is simply put, why not? And now is the time. Because I've had those pulls on my spirit. I still have those pulls on my spirit. There are still things that I am still birthing and growing and through. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm still going to keep pressing and doing what God has also placed in my spirit before. And so I am just going to keep challenging myself to live, to be better. And that is where, like I said, for me, I had to have a therapist. I do. I'm very grateful. I went tonight, like I said, and we had a really good conversation about all the things that I'm accomplishing and how all God has set my whole life in alignment in this season, in this time, for me to have the expansion and be audacious and unshakable. And it is scary, but it is so peaceful because I don't have any fears or doubts. Lean into those moments where it's like God imparts something in your spirit or bring someone toward you and you have no fear or doubts. Lean into it. Don't let skepticism, don't let past hurt, don't let self-doubt, don't let any fear of judgment, don't let any person, friends, family, or anyone speak into you in a way that will make you doubt anything that has been placed in your spirit. Because it's easy to do that. I've done that. I've spent my life doing that. And now, like I said, I'm done. And being in this 51st season, it's all game. It is all on. It's game on. I am not playing. As I tell my friend all the time, excuse me, I'm standing on business. I am standing on business. Like I'm not playing. I want you to feel that same energy from me because I want you to stand on business. And standing on business doesn't mean that you have to be disrespectful. It doesn't mean that you have to cut people off. It's not anything crazy. It literally just means that for once in your life, in this moment, in this season, you have decided to stand up for you. You have decided to take no shorts. You have decided to thank you. You have decided to recognize your value, and you are not moving any way away from it. That's what this 51st year of life is bringing me. And I want that same type of energy to come to you, regardless of where you are, because it is time. And so, like I said, this is your reminder. This is your catalyst. This is your checkpoint. This is your nudge. This is your push, your kick in the behind, whatever you need to tell you now is the time. And no, it doesn't mean that everything is perfect. It's not. It is never perfect. God knows it's not. There is always going to be delays. There's going to be stresses. There's going to be things that come up, but you can work through that. They're just situations. And those situations don't have any power over you unless you let those situations have power over you. So stop letting situations have power over you and make the decision that now is the time. And kind of transitioning into the 4th year of this podcast, let me tell you guys something. This was not an easy thing to start. Well, actually, it wasn't, because it took me 10 years just to get started because of my own self-doubt, my own fears, my own insecurities. But once I started, which was ugly, if you go back and listen to episode 1, as opposed to what you're listening to now, you'd probably be like, wow, it's like a whole shift. But I started. And that's the thing. I started. What is in your spirit right now that you have not started? And that's rhetorical, obviously, but definitely think about that. And why haven't you started? It doesn't have to be beautiful. Literally, I told you guys before, I had a $20 mic. I got off of Amazon and ran over to my friend Katie's house, had to have her sit with me, show me how to do it. And then I had to run my little butt back home and do it and send out an episode. And I did that same cadence every week for at least the first 2-3 years. Like I've just got a good mic now. Not too long ago, like maybe a year or so ago, I was willing to invest up, but literally $20. And I was just going to keep going. And I started out $20 and maybe 2 or 3 downloads, if that. And then we wound up going into the thousands. Just so that anybody's ever curious, we are well over 10, 20,000 downloads here, 30,000 downloads. Like, we're making it happen over here. And so I just don't talk about that a lot, because to me, that's not been the priority. The priority has been you. Yes, the priority is my community. And see, turning 4 is so powerful to me, because that's 4 years of intention. That's 4 years of connections. That's 4 years of love. When I tell y'all I put my heart into this, this is my heart. And this next version of where we will continue to go, we're like bringing into the reset and other activities. And oh, you guys have no idea the things that I have coming for this brand, for this podcast. It is just so important to me, because you guys were the ones that saved me. You're the promise that I made to God when I was on my face and asking God to help me find my way, when I felt like I was just going to give up, when I was at my rock end. And I said, God, if you bring me back, I'll share my story. I'll tell it. I'll tell the good and the bad. You are the product of that promise. And I am so grateful to this podcast. I really am. Like I said, I have met some amazing people. I'm very fortunate. I don't have internet trolls or any of that craziness, because I always like to believe it's because the energy is so right that people just naturally just are repelled, and they're just like, if they're a troll, they're just like, they're too good. I don't want to be bothered with those folks. So I love that. But I love you guys, because again, this is that promise fulfilled. This is my heart out here. And I'm very grateful about having my heart on display, because it is allowing other people to have their heart on display, because none of us can do it alone. Like I said, I've done a lot of great things in my life, but one of the greatest things that I've ever done is creating this podcast, this space, so that we as women can come together and share and impart. This is always going to be love. This is always going to be a space for women. I may not always get it right, but I can tell you I'm going to keep it real and it's always going to be met with love. And so I'm really grateful that we are 4 years old now. And I just cannot wait for an additional 4 more years and 4 more after that. Like, I want us to continue to grow and evolve. And I'm very excited to share with you guys the reset. You know, I've been kind of talking about it, and now hopefully you're seeing stuff on social media about it. The reset is literally an extension of my heart out into the world, because when I was in those seasons, this is what I think I needed. And so I didn't have that then, or I didn't have the tools mentally and emotionally and spiritually to be able to help cultivate it. But now I do. And so I am very grateful for all of the guests, all of the attendees that will be there, all of the speakers, all of the people pouring their hands, money, love, energy into putting this together with me. Like, this is truly an act of love. And so I hope that you will check it out, but I hope you know that that is the future of what we are doing here in the space. Of course, a podcast will always exist. I will always keep spotlighting women because we need to be spotlighted. We need to create spaces where we talk and we grow. But I look forward to touching more of you through the reset, and also through my other little special project that will be announced during the reset. It is time to grow and expand and to really get more aligned with, you know, the needs of our community, and to continue to grow it and build it. So I'm very excited about doing that. So being 4 is very intentional. This is a very powerful time, and having this come into my 51st year, my audacious year, my unshakable year, my expansion year. I know that God is always in the center of it, and He is expanding it and growing it. And I'm very happy about having the prospect of being able to share this with you. So I hope that you will continue to rock with me on the journey. I know it has been one, especially if you've been a day one. Like I said, listening from episode 1 to episode 180 is hopefully a whole different vibe. If not, let me know on the low so I can get a little bit better, because I'm still trying to grow and evolve. But I just want you to know, truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Because each of you who listen, who support, who share, who have participated on here, all of you have had a hand in my journey. And I am very grateful to have an opportunity to have a hand in your journey. This is all about us sharing, loving, healing, and growing together. And I cannot wait to continue to evolve with you. And so I thank you guys for truly, like I said, everything that you have done over these 4 years to let me know that, hey, I'm listening, I'm supporting, I feel seen and valued, and I'm grateful. Thank you. Because again, it really wouldn't be anything without you. So yeah, I know that this is probably going to be a shorter episode. I am actually taking a quick pause for the cause, but I was like, I have to still release an episode because this is such a special time. By the time you guys listen to this, I'll be back from my quick little jaunt, and it'll be officially my birthday. So, you know, shout your girl out, show me some love in the comments. Let me know how you have been impacted by the podcast, or let me know what you're doing for your birthday. What does your year mean? Because I really want to make sure that I am supporting and encouraging you. This is that space where we heal, share, celebrate, grow, learn, and evolve together. I will be back soon with another new episode, as well as, like I said, I'll be doing a lot of commentary around the reset, because I really want as many women as I can. I have space for 100 women to take advantage of this opportunity to really come together with me, and let's heal, grow, and learn together. I have all of the information to the reset in the show notes. But again, my greatest birthday gift is you guys. So I truly want to thank you. The greatest podcast birthday gift is you all. So thank you. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, I send you love, peace, and happiness and blessings. I hope that you guys will get a chance to enjoy the rest of your weekend. Please take care of each other, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.